Okay, welcome back for the second session, which will be taking about the payments, how the payments are happening in international markets, what is the role of the bank, and how to do the hedging. And we will also discuss about the, as I told you, to make use of this dollar account that is called EFC account. All this we will be discussing in this session. Shivaji Parthsar sir has joined.
Not yet, sir.
Okay, sir is about to join. Okay, so yeah, we will take up the other questions. Any?
Yeah. Hi, sir. In the starting of the presentation, you have quoted foreign account. Can you repeat that?
Sorry.
In starting of the presentation, you have quoted a foreign account. We have to open a exchange foreign account, I think, just like that.
That is what we are going to discuss. That is called EEFC account.
Sorry, come again, sir.
Exchange Earners Foreign Currency Account.
Okay, that is what we are.
If you are exporter and importer, it can be EEFC. Exchange, you can see the chart.
Okay, thanks.
Exchange Earners Foreign Currency.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, that will be useful for both exporters and importers. Okay, next.
So, wanted to ask one question.
Sir, I just wanted to ask, sir, if we are exporting something with the option of CIF, with the insurance on us, if there is any damages to the products, the insurance claim will be from our side or from the importer's side, sir? Who will take responsibility of the insurance if anything happens?
Always. Buyer will ask you to insure the goods. That means?
We have got it done. We have done the insurance. But if anything happens, it is whose responsibility? Who will take the claim? We will take the claim or importer will take the claim?
Please answer my question. Buyer is asking you to take the insurance and is going to pay you. And whose name you are going to take?
Okay, sir.
Whose name you are going to take?
Importers, sir. Importers.
Obviously.
Okay.
Next. Mukesh Sharma.
Yes, sir. In this regard, will you provide some CFA number in Mumbai so that it can be helpful?
Mumbai, Chennai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, we are going to give you.
Okay. Thank you. Yes.
Any CNF differs for ports, sir?
Yes, most of these people are having their network. They will be doing on multiple ports, even in Calcutta also, even Cochin also.
So who would be preferable if I go for Krishnapatnam port? Who is the master order?
Krishnapatnam, I can give 2-3 contacts also, not a problem.
Okay. So Chennai, would you prefer? Sir, my place would be near to Chennai and Krishnapatnam port. Which one would you prefer for a faster transaction?
What is which country it is?
Sir, country I don't know. I'm just asking for the knowledge.
That's what. See, where are you from?
Sir, I'm from Anantapur. I'm Arshad Ali from Anantapur.
Okay. So because depending on the country, the traffic also will be shown from the Chennai is a master. No doubt. Krishnapatnam again it differs from 1 to 1. Depending on the countries and depending on the traffic. Like Krishnapatnam has some traffic to China also. But Chennai also is having a good traffic to China. They depending on the country. I suggest to go for Chennai.
Thank you so much, sir. But cargo has been there. I have seen a way that people are transporting on railways also to the ports.
Not people. That is transported by the government itself.
No, sir. There's a banana exporters here. They have set up a kind of substation in the railway station itself. They're directly exporting from here. Sir, for that I need to have a clarification whether the customs are staying in the railway station or whether the goods goes to the port and they get custom clearance while it's traveling by railways.
If it is going by regular wagon, that will not go. If it is loaded in the container and put on the right?
Yes, sir, container.
Have you seen the railway, the regular thing or container?
So container itself, sir. Containers are parked the side of the track in my railway station, nearby railway station.
Okay, okay. So that
Even yeah, sir. Please
if it
continue.
is normally what happens, if it is ICDs, that will be done by the customs only. Customs only will seal.
Yes,
Or
sir.
otherwise, I don't know the arrangement where it is going. But normally this will have direct entry to the port.
Okay, rail has right
They
into
may
the
be
port.
they may be they no other they will not stand outside. It will directly go into the port.
So if I'm going by railway, then the private custom agents would involve, or I should hire someone from the government itself.
The private also will do that.
Private also will do.
Okay.
Sir,
Okay.
sir, this side,
Let us
Sir,
start.
one question.
sir, the one question,
Hello.
sir. Sir, this side Mahesh from Bangalore. Sir, being a startup, I have actually three places where to register this GST. One is at being at workplace at Bangalore. One is Karnataka. Second, my hometown is Hyderabad. And third is my wife's in-law is in Tamil Nadu. So which one would be the best, as you suggested, to register? So that
What is
port
your
area
working
or
place? What is your
working place
working
is
place?
Bangalore, sir.
Bangalore. Where do you want to open the bank account? Because all the
As
states you can have the branches all the places in the same name.
okay, the only product movement I am just calculating the logistics should be workable.
No, logistics you can do anywhere in the place. Even
So cost will not
sitting at
differ.
Delhi, cost will not differ. Cost will differ
Thank you,
only
sir.
from your sourcing place to the port.
So I can take the GST anywhere, wherever I am residing.
Anywhere.
So Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, no
Okay,
difference, sir.
no difference. Not make difference for you. Okay. Now, without losing time, we will jump into the subject. As I told you, this session we are focusing on the how the payments are happening in the international markets, and on that we have invited one of the senior official, ex-official from the banker. Surname is Dr. BNV Padsardi. Let me invite on the screen. Where is sir? Welcome, Dr. Padsardi, sir.
Welcome, sir. Thank you.
So before handing over the session, let me give a brief intro of Dr. Padsardi. So, sir is ex-senior banker, financial management consultant, and visiting faculty at a premium business schools and universities, and consultant to various government institutions. And sir's specialization is teaching interest of banking, finance, public policy, entrepreneurship, economy, global business, and behavioral sciences. And sir is having experience of 25 years into banking and 14 years of teaching and research and consulting. And is a life member of elected associate member of Indian Institute of Banking and Finance. Sir has published 117 in national and international publications. Is author of many books, and one book in English, In Search of Eternal Truth, two books in Telugu, 20 short stories, and he keep on publishing various articles in regional language as well as in Hindu posts. And Sir is encyclopedia. He teaches 25 subjects to universities. 25 subjects he teaches, and having a wide knowledge in the financial and every matter, whichever matter you talk, is a encyclopedia. That way I can tell. So we welcome Dr. Padsadi, sir. So with this brief introduction, I'll hand over the session. Sir, as usual, our participants are from Pan India base. Most of the 95% of the people are from the beginning. So as usual, right, in the same way, what we are taking, the same way you can take the class, sir. So now over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, friends.
Can you hear, sir, voice? Is it clear? Yes, sir. You can make it full screen.
Yeah, I'm not getting the screen on my laptop.
But we are able to see your screen.
It's coming blank for me.
Oh, it is displayed here. It is displayed. Press F5, sir. It will come full screen for us. Put F. Press F5.
No, I tried it.
Yes, yes. Now we got the full screen.
No, I'm not able to see the screen. I'm getting a blank screen.
Okay. Yeah, we have come to the.
I don't know. I'm getting totally blank.
So stop and share, sir, again.
You stop and reconnect, sir, again.
No, even stop. It's not going anywhere.
Something's
Even
cut.
stop. It is not going.
But your slides are moving. You are in 7th slide. Mhm. Sir, yeah, let us reconnect. You can.
Yeah, that's what I see.
You go for restart, sir. Otherwise,
Yeah, I'll have to reboot and restart 1 minute.
put F4. Put F4. That Alt F4. Give you the option.
Yeah, tried it also. I think I'll have to reboot 1 minute.
Yeah, please try, sir. So utilize the time for some questions. 3 people are left out here. So who is this? Niti. Niti Wag. You can unmute.
Yeah, hi, sir. So I went to meet a manufacturer of ecological, eco-friendly products today, and he asked me a question that which port do you want? And I went blank. Obviously, I did not show that to him. I had to pretend as if I know it all. But I want to know that does it matter to the costing or the choice that one has to make, or is it that certain to the country it is going to that why do we have to choose?
First tell me, where are you from?
I'm from Bombay, sir.
बॉम्बे में 2 बड़ा पोर्ट है. पूरा दुनिया बॉम्बे से बेचती है, बॉम्बे में लाते हैं. So obviously you should have not asked you because you are sitting in Bombay. Bombay से दुनिया connected है.
Yeah.
Okay, there's no question of which port you wanted to go. Suppose
he asked me this question that he asked me the question that you want it from this port. I mean, I don't even remember phonetically properly the name of the port. I think you only mentioned 2 ports a while ago. So your voice is gone, sir.
Yeah, 1 second.
Navasheva JNPT.
Yes, he
and
said
Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So
that's not a matter. See, anybody, please remember, people will ask you, can you supply this item? You make 4, 5 predefined questions. What is the quality? What are your specifications? What is your packing? Where do you want? How do you pay me? I'm going to cover this later. Put yourself 5 questions and get the answer. Then only reach to the client. So luckily he has asked only one question, which port? People ask me generally, can you give me this? Then they will call me, sir, he's asking where can I get the price. If I ask him what is the quality they are asking, they are blank. You can make a note. First thing is, what are they asking? Can you give me the complete specifications of your product? If they ask, can you supply the rice? Just example. What kind of rice you want? What is the quality is looking? Okay. The third one, what kind of packing we want? Whether a 5 kilo pack is a 10 kilo pack or 50 kilo or 25 pack. How do they want? Whether he want a own stamping or regular your regular thing. Where do they want? Where do they want? Whether they're asking for FOB or asking for CAF. Based on that only you are able to know where is the cost. Based on that only your cost will come. When you go to the client and your supplier and ask, I want rice, or can you give me the quotation? You will put the same question. And how do they pay? First thing. Last thing, what is your payment mode? If anybody comes to you, put these questions and get the answer, then only reach to your supplier. The same questions he is going to ask you. Okay, next.
Thank you, sir.
Damian.
Hi, sir. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah. So my question was, I'm currently supplying labels and stickers to Japan, and I have one more requirement from US. And the client's requirement is that they want the stickers which will have made in USA printed on it. So is there an issue exporting something from the country which will already have made in USA printed on it, or that is fine to export?
That is fine to export, no problem.
So even if it is manufactured, even if a product is manufactured in India and it has something like made in USA.
Sir, I am back, sir.
Hello.
Okay, sir. 1 minute, sir. Say, are you putting the material or label only?
So this is only label, but if it is something with the product also. So in general, I'm asking. My lookout is currently only with labels and stickers. But what if in
as
case
long as you are supplying the stickers, no issue.
Okay, and when it
because
comes to
we see as only the even sometimes they ask you to give the material also made in, but that cannot be. But because of the labeling issues, if you are printing a sticker, no issue.
Okay, and when it comes to a proper finished goods?
Finished goods we cannot give. Labels you can put.
Okay.
Labels you can put.
Okay, so labels we can supply, but not the finished good.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Next. Okay. So sir is back. Let me share the. Sir, you can bring up the screen, sir. Yes, sir.
Shall I start, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Perfect.
Yeah. So good evening, friends. So we will now discuss about the payment mechanism. When we say the payment mechanism, as per the FEMA guidelines, for all exports and imports or any inward and outward remittances, barring low value transactions like say equivalent of 1 lakh or less than that. Other than that, all other inflows and outflows, foreign exchange transactions have to be routed through the banking system only. This is one of the FEMA guidelines. And the second important guideline is that with respect to the imports and exports, barring that low value transaction, what I said, all original documents also have to be routed through the banking system. So if you do an export, the original documents related to that export, you have to route it through the banking system to reach the importer. And the importer has to make the payment to you through the banking system to get the payment. So this is a two-way traffic which happens through the banking system as per the FEMA guidelines. Payment, everybody knows, money will come.
So there is some application is showing on your screen, sir, again. Yeah, it's fading and coming back. Please stop the other applications on your window, sir. Other than the presentation, if you have any applications, you can close it.
Sir is on
what
mute.
is this?
I did not open any other application, only this.
Is it? Where is it coming?
Okay.
Because no chance from my end.
Yeah.
So are you?
What
Okay,
are the
proceed, sir. Let
documents?
us see.
There are certain basic documents in the global trade, that is for both exports as well as imports. The first document is, we call it as a financial document because we are dealing with the financial transactions. So what is a financial document? It is nothing but an authorization or a mandate you give to your banker to handle this transaction on your behalf, deliver the documents and get the payment. Because basically, whether it is export or import, the contract is between exporter and importer. They are the parties to the contract. Banker is a third party, is no way connected. Since we have made a guidelines in the FEMA saying that documents have to be routed through the bank, payment has to be received through the bank, bank should have a mandate to enable him to deliver the documents and collect the payment. So who will give that mandate? Exporter. Because exporter is the person who is shipping the material, who is preparing the documents, and who is having the ownership of the title and of the goods also. So he will give the mandate to the bank. So how it is drafted? It is simple format, what in local language we call it as a bill of exchange. So the exporter will simply mention that please pay a sum of dollars so and so to. He will mention his bank name. Covering shipment, wide invoice number so and so, dated so and so, as per the terms. So if you are an exporter, you do an export for $1 million to a party in USA. So he is the importer, and say your banker is, say for example, Axis Bank. So you will give this mandate to handle the documents and collect the payment to your banker, that is Axis Bank. So you will mention pay a sum of $1 million to Axis Bank, so and so. These instructions are given to whom? Addressed to the importer. So the importer will know that he will have to collect the documents and then make the payment through the Axis Bank. Now, what about the payment terms? There are various payment terms that will come to a little later. Now, first having seen what is the first kind of document, that is a financial document, then there is a second type of document, which is a commercial document. That is nothing but, example is invoice. If you look at the invoice, which is obviously prepared by the exporter, it will contain the exporter's name, address, country details, importer's name, address, country details, description of the goods, quantity, price, total value, payment terms, everything will be mentioned. So you will be having invoice, which is an example of a commercial document. And then comes the third example is transport document. The third document is a transport document. The main difference between financial commercial documents and a transport document is that financial document and commercial document both are prepared by the exporter himself, whereas the transport document is obviously prepared by the transport operator. He is a third party. So this will add more credence to the genuineness of the transaction, bona fides. It means the movement of goods. In case of exports or imports, the genuineness of the transaction is established by movement of goods. Otherwise, it will be a fake transaction just on paper only. Since the transport document is prepared by the transporter, who is a third party, whereas other documents are prepared by the exporter himself. So this will add more weight to the transaction. It will add credence to the transaction. Genuineness of the transaction will be established by this. That's why even as per the FEMA guidelines, transport document is considered to be one of the most important documents. Now the examples of transport documents are, as you are aware, depending upon the mode of transport. If you are doing the shipment by air, you will be having a airway bill. If you are doing the shipment by sea, you will be having a bill of lading. If you are doing by road, some of the countries, particularly European countries, it is very common and popular to do through by road the shipment between the countries. So there you may have lorry receipt or railway receipt. Even in India also, from India to Bangladesh, Myanmar, Nepal, all these countries, typically most of the transactions happen by road. So these are the examples of the transport document. And then we also have one regulatory document, that is, which is a requirement as per the regulatory guidelines in our country. That is the shipping document. So which is known as the statutory declaration form, SDF. If you take all physical goods that are exported and imported, it will pass through the customs, all physical goods. Whereas all non-physical transactions like software and all, customs have no role to play. Therefore, you have another equivalent authority like STPA, Software Technology Park of India. So they do the role of the customs for non-physical transactions, particularly for software exports. So the role of customs is, in case of exports as well as imports, to verify the goods and see that they are in order and everything is reconciled with the invoice, whether the quantity, price, everything, description, everything. So once it passes through the customs clearance, if you are an exporter, so they will give you this statutory declaration form. In fact, you only will fill up and hand over to them. They will clear it and they will verify it and certify it. This also becomes one of the important documents under the FEMA guidelines, because the FEMA guidelines say that the exporter has to submit the customs verification form to the banker along with the original documents. So customs will give you a copy which along with the original documents you will be submitting to the bank. Then the bank will know that you are not only giving certain documents, but the goods are already handed out to the customs, they have verified it, they have cleared it, and they have certified the same. That is, the physical movement of goods is ensured. So these are the basic documents we have. So as per the FEMA guidelines, whether it is export or import, if these 4 documents are there, that is enough. Bankers will not ask any other document. However, depending upon the nature of the transaction, sometimes the importer and exporter may decide that they will prepare a packing list, inspection certificate, so many other documents which may be required by them, depending upon their requirement. Therefore, those documents also you will be submitting along with these 4 documents. But those documents are not mandatory. The mandatory requirement as per the FEMA guidelines for export and imports are only these 4 pieces of paper, that's all. With this, you can do millions of dollars worth of transactions. And these are the basic documents required. Other documents are additional. Please remember, it depends upon the requirement between the exporter and importer. Sometimes certificate of origin may be required. So you'll have to get it and then submit it. Okay. So those are all additional documents. So once we have seen what are the documents to be submitted, now we will come to the payment terms. What about the payment terms? Again, that is decided to the discretion of the buyer and the seller, exporter and importer. You can decide. If you are comfortable, both parties are comfortable, you say, I will deliver the goods, you make the payment and take the documents. That is what we call cash on delivery or spot payment. So let us take this example where you and the overseas importer both have agreed, both are comfortable to do this transaction on COD, cash on delivery. So what you will do while preparing this financial document bill of exchange, you will be mentioning there, please pay on demand. So you'll be saying, please pay a sum of dollars so and so to Axis Bank, wide invoice number so and so, covering shipment details so and so, on demand. Because you both have agreed for the cash on delivery. So this is the mandate you are giving it to Axis Bank. Now what Axis Bank will do? Axis Bank, suppose normally for all these exports and import transactions, there will be minimum 2 bankers. That is, 1 banker for the exporter, 1 banker for the importer. Sometimes, very rarely, both exporter and importer may have the same bank. Then only 1 bank will be there. Of course, branches will be different. Like say if you have Citibank India is different, Citibank USA is different. Both the parties may have account with Citibank. Still, for all practical purposes, even for legally also under the FEMA guidelines, same bank having branches abroad will be treated as a different entity. So minimum you will be having 2 banks. What are the names of the banks are there, whether they are common or not. So Axis Bank will, let us say in this example, the importer in USA, his banker is Citibank. So Axis Bank will send these documents to Citibank. And they will also instruct Citibank, please inform your party that these documents are received and ask him to make the payment, only then you deliver the documents. So they will mention the instructions, deliver the documents against payment. That's what we say, DP, deliver the documents against payment. Because this is what you both have agreed. So Citibank will inform the importer and he will in turn come to the bank and make the payment so that he will be handed over the original documents. Then he will go to the customs there, clear it and get the consent. So this is what happens when the payment terms are cash on delivery. Sometimes you may agree that instead of a cash payment, you both may agree that, okay, I will give you some credit, time to settle the payment, say 90 days, 120 days like that. But what is the maximum period up to which you can give the credit? As per the FEMA guidelines, an exporter can give credit to importer to make the payment for a period not exceeding 180 days from the date of shipment. From the date of shipment means the date of shipment as evidence in the transport document, bill of lading, airway bill, etc., etc. However, this 180 days can be extended by another 180 days. It means initially you can give maximum credit not exceeding 180 days. Supposing you give credit for 180 days. But after 130 days or 140 days, the importer comes to you and says, see, I am having some problem. Even these goods are not moving, economy is down. So why can't you give some more credit? Then immediately you have to inform your banker well before 180th day and say that I need some extension. You give extension for how many days? You can go for another 180 days, maximum 360 days. Beyond 360 days, you cannot give credit. That is, you can give credit only up to 180 days. Beyond 180 days, between 180 days to 360 days, you can get approval from your banker, who is having the power to do so. Anything beyond 360 days extension that requires RBI approval. It means you have to send the representation through your banker. So he will send his recommendation saying that initially, as per the FEMA guidelines, my client has given 180 days. Subsequently, it was extended within my purview. I have done it. But now he requires some more extension. And we are confident we'll get the payment within that period. So please give approval. So then RBI will give the approval. So this is how the outer limit for the payment when you give credit, that is well defined in the FEMA guidelines. Now let us say you give credit for 90 days, for example. Then while preparing this financial document, you'll be mentioning that please pay a sum of $1 million covering shipment of invoice number so and so, so and so, then you'll mention 90 days. 90 days means you have to mention, you both, when you agree for 90 days credit, you should also agree what is the reference or base date, how that 90 days due date is calculated. But that is left to you. You both can agree that 90 days from the date of invoice, or 90 days from the date of shipment, or 90 days from the date of receipt of the documents at the importer's bank, whatever it is. But you should have some reference. So based on that date, the due date can be calculated. So then in your bill of exchange, that is a financial document, you'll be mentioning the due date also. Say 90 days from the date of shipment, you have agreed. You are doing the shipment, say in June 30th. Then September 30th, or whatever it is, will be the due date. So you will be mentioning clearly in the financial document, please pay this sum on this due date, September 30th. Then what instructions you will give to your bank or Axis Bank? You will give the instruction, not deliver the documents against payment, but deliver the documents against acceptance. Because here what will happen? First you have to deliver the documents to the importer. You will pay subsequently on the due date. In the meanwhile, you will go get the clearance of the goods from the customs, probably sell it, and on the due date you will pay. So here the documents payment term will be deliver the documents against acceptance, DA bill. That's what we call DA bill. The first one example is DP. DP bill means documents against payment, COD. Whereas here when you give credit, it is DA bill, documents against acceptance. So Citibank will get instructions from your bank or Axis Bank saying that inform your client, the importer, ask him to accept to make payment on the due date, that is September 30th. Once he does that, then you deliver these documents. So then what the bank will do, Citibank will inform the importer, mentioning these documents have come for $1 million, due date is September 30th. So you please now come to the bank right now, accept to make payment on the due date, so that we will hand over the documents to you. What documents? Invoice, transport document. So that you will come to the bank, accept it to make payment on September 30th, 2021. And then Citibank will hand over the invoice and the transport document, whether it is airway bill or bill of lading, whatever it is. So that they will go to the customs, show these originals, get the clearance. If any duty is to be paid, he will pay there and then get the goods. Then on the due date, say September 30th, he is expected to go back to the bank and make the payment. So when he makes the payment from Citibank, Axis Bank will get the payment and you in turn will get your final payment. Now these are the two examples we have seen, DA bill and DP bill. That is payment on demand, COD, payment under credit. But we have assumed in a simple way that everything happens smoothly. But in reality, it is not so. In reality, there are so many issues that we come across. What happens is that sometimes you may not agree in your contract about the bank charges. You miss it. Then what will happen? Who will pay the bank charges? This is the first problem. How do you deal with that? Then your bank charges, of course, you'll have to pay, but Citibank charges, importer has to pay at least. So if he is a smart person, he will say that in my contract with the exporter, I have not agreed for bank charges. I said I will make $1 million payment, I will get this material, that's all. I will not pay any bank charges. If he is smart, he can say that. In that case, what Citibank will do, they will collect that $1 million. From that, they will deduct their charges and remit the balance to Axis Bank. And what Axis Bank will do, they will in turn deduct their charges and pay the net amount to you, which means by default means if your contract is silent about the bank charges, who will pay which bank charges? Then by default, all bank charges will fall on the head of the exporter. This is what the law says. Now, what is the rationale behind it? The rationale is simple. who is approaching the banking system to handle this transaction? The request is originated by whom? Exporter. He is first going to Axis Bank, and Axis Bank in turn is sending the documents to Citibank. Even Citibank is acting on behalf of Axis Bank only in this transaction, even though the importer is their customer. They have to act as per the instructions of the Axis Bank, and Axis Bank will get instructions from you basically. So this is the legal position. That is why, therefore, if you are doing a transaction, whether it is COD or it is documents against payment or documents against acceptance, whatever it is, you have to very clearly agree about what will be the bank charges. No, that is left to you. You can say that I will pay my bank charges, you will pay your bank charges. Or you can say total bank charges we will divide half, or 36%, 70%, whatever it is. But you should agree to resolve this, who will pay the bank charges. That is very, very important. Now, this is one practical problem normally you come across. Then the second practical problem is that sometimes the importer may back out. Originally, he will say, I will buy the goods. After you do all these efforts and send the documents and the shipment is done, supposing he says, sorry, I am not going interested now. Then what you can do? Then there are several options. The first option is that you can renegotiate, probably give some price discount and ask him to take the material. If it is COD, you again prepare a revised invoice, or you say price discount is much. You hand over the documents to the importer at $900,000 because $100,000 I'm giving some discount out of million. That is possible. Or he may say that, no, I want credit. You can give credit. From demand, you can convert it into credit. Sometimes if none of these options are working out, then what you can do, you can explore the possibility of identifying another alternative buyer in USA, substitute the invoice, and dispose the transaction. Worst scenario, nothing is possible, probably you have to call back the goods. These are the options available, but in reality, normally many times both resolve it by agreeing to finish up the transaction at a lower, slightly lower price, whatever it is. So this is another practical problem we come across. And the FEMA guidelines provide you adequate scope to come out of this problem. You can substitute the invoice, identify another buyer, give price discount. All these options the FEMA guidelines give you. Only thing is you have to have a supported document, approach your banker and inform them and do it, get their consent and finish up the transaction. Now we have seen two options. That is, one is cash on delivery, second one is credit. Now there is a third payment mechanism also, third option, payment terms. That is, you may get some advance payment. That is, the importer will say, I will first make you the payment, you send the material later, no problem. Now, advance payment can be 100% or less than 100%. Both the possibilities are there. You may agree that 50% you make the payment now, remaining 50% after I ship the consignment material to you. That's also possible. So when it is advance payment, what happens? First you get the payment through the bank, and after that you do the shipment. Right? Okay. Now let us discuss this scenario. Scenario 1, where 100% advance payment you get, down payment total. In this case, FEMA guidelines will give you an exemption that you need not route the original documents through the bank because you have got the total payment in advance. Therefore, in such cases alone, that is wherever you have got 100% payment in advance before shipment, in those cases alone, you can, after doing the the shipment, you can send all the original documents directly to the importer. No issues. You will be saving on the time, you will be saving on the bank charges also. Because if you route through the banks, it will take time. From Axis Bank, it should go to Citibank, Citibank will inform the client. Whereas here you can directly dispatch the documents. So that is one exemption under the FEMA guidelines. Now, supposing the scenario 2, where the advance payment is there, but it is not 100%, anything less than 100%. It can be 99.9 or 30% or 40%. In this case, what you have to do is that you have to prepare the invoice, show the advance payment, how much you have received, and then for the balance amount, net amount, you raise the invoice. And all original documents along with this, you will route it through the bank so that you will get the balance payment as per your payment terms. Now, when I say as per your payment terms, even when you do advance, what you call get advance payment for an export, you can still give payment terms as COD. That is for the balance payment. Say 70% you get advance now. 30% is on demand. That is COD. Or the 30% you can give credit also, up to not exceeding 180 days. So the payment terms are left to your discretion. And this is how the advance payment for export is also handled. So the same way, under advance payment also, you have to clearly agree on the bank charges. If you find the importer is desperate, he will make down payment advance 100% and he is prepared to wait. Probably you can shift all the burden of bank charges also and he will pay. It depends upon how you negotiate, what is the urgency of the importer and all. So this is how the payment flow takes place. Whether it is advance payment, whether it is COD or credit. First step is that you sign the contract, and then the second step is that you do the shipment. Third step, you prepare all the documents. Fourth step, you submit the original documents to your bank, that is Axis Bank. Fifth step, Axis Bank will deliver the documents to importer's banker, that is Citibank. And sixth step, Citibank will inform the importer. And seventh step will be importer will come. If it is COD, he will make payment and get the documents. If it is credit, he will accept the documents and get the, he will accept the documents to make the payment on due date and get the original documents. And step number 8, payment will come depending upon the payment terms. Now, in all these, other than advance payment, 100% advance payment, or even other than what, as I said, there is a remote possibility of where finally the transaction may not take place. Importer may totally back out. Then, as I said, the other options we will explore to resolve the issue and put through the transaction. Now, this is how it goes when the transactions are entered between the importer and the exporter, and both the parties are comfortable. That is, whether it is COD or advance payment or credit, you both have decided, you are comfortable, you have gone ahead. But sometimes it may not happen like that. Like say you are doing an export for the first time. You have not seen the party. So only by correspondence, net and all. You don't know thoroughly about him. Though you have done some due diligence, fine, that's all fine. So you will be definitely interested to first get the payment. Whereas the importer may say, I am also doing with you for the first time. So I cannot first make the payment. You first send the material. So if you, both of you stick to your stand, then the transaction cannot take place. Here where to facilitate this type of transactions, banker will come into the picture. When I say banker, it will be importer's banker. So the importer will tell you, okay, you are concerned about the payment, you are not confident that I may not make the payment. Fine, don't worry, my bank will give you an assurance, payment assurance. That is a payment commitment. So he will tell his banker, Citibank, say, I have this problem, so you give a payment commitment. Then what will happen? Citibank will issue the payment commitment to you, which is known as a letter of credit, LC. So before discussing about LC, this is a sample of the bill of exchange, what I told you. The description, goods, due date, everything will be mentioned. Now this is the invoice. The first one is the invoice. This is the transport document. You'll have like a railway bill, bill of lading, lorry receipt, railway receipt. So many examples like this. Now, these are the steps which I have explained to you. Step 1, goods will go. Step 2, exporter will submit the documents along with the giving the instructions whether the documents should be delivered against payment or against acceptance to his banker. And his banker will in turn, that is Axis Bank, will send these documents to collecting bank, that is Citibank. And Citibank in turn will communicate to the importer. Importer will come and either make the payment or give acceptance and take the documents. And then once the payment comes, the payment will be passed on by Citibank, Axis Bank, which in turn final payment will come to you. So this is the flow chart which happens where both the importer and exporter are comfortable to do the transaction. Now we are going to see where they want some comfort in between, a third party to come. So bank will come into the picture, as I said, always the importer's banker. An importer's banker is now giving you a payment comfort, so that you are happy. That is, Citibank is giving me a commitment of payment. Then you may put through the transaction. It means here what is happening, letter of credit is coming into the picture. What is a letter of credit? It is an instrument issued by the bank. Which bank? Normally it is the importer's banker. It is issued to whom? It is issued to exporter. And it clearly says that it clearly says that it is unconditional. It means when the Citibank says, I will pay you $1 million for this transaction, what you have agreed, they cannot back out. So a letter of credit is something which is unconditional and irrevocable. Irrevocable means they cannot cancel it once they issue it. Unconditional, they cannot put any condition. Only condition they will mention is that as per the contract you both have agreed, you do the shipment of goods and submit the documents to me, I will make payment. Me means the Citibank. So broadly what we feel, it is like a guarantee. But in legal terms, letter of credit and guarantee both are totally different. I will explain that also so that you will understand the concept of LC much better. The wordings in the letter of credit LC will be, Citibank will say, as per your contract, you do the shipment and you submit the original documents to me, I will make payment. No conditions, no cancellation. Irrevocable. So the payment commitment of the bank is primary. He is taking a basic responsibility. He is not saying that I will make payment provided the importer is giving me money. No, that is his botheration. It means if the bank, Citibank is issuing an LC for $1 million to you, the exporter, if you do the export and submit the documents to Citibank for $1 million, Citibank will have to make payment, even though the importer subsequently may be absconding. That is, he has to resolve it. So that is the power of the LC. So the payment commitment of the bank will be primary. It is independent of his relationship with the importer that he has to resolve. Whereas guarantee is totally different. In guarantee, supposing Citibank is issuing a guarantee, which is known as a standby letter of credit, SBLC. In India, what we call guarantee, in abroad, all countries, they call it SBLC, standby letter of credit. The wordings in the standby letter of credit or guarantee will be like this. Supposing Citibank is issuing that guarantee or SBLC, whatever it is. So he will say, as per your contract terms, you do the shipment for $1 million and you please ask importer to make payment first. If he is not making payment, then come to me, I will make payment. That is what guarantee is. It means under the guarantee, the payment obligation of the guarantee issuing bank is secondary. Whereas under the LC, the payment obligation of the LC issuing bank is primary. So that is the difference between LC and guarantee. So this is the power of the LC. Most of the transactions globally, they take place through letter of credit. Almost 70% of the transactions. It's very powerful and popular. Now let us see the mechanism of the LC and how it operates and what are the some complexities involved which you have to take care. That is very, very important. In case of LC, you will be having the issuing bank, that is who is issuing the LC. So that is say in this case Citibank. Then you have advising bank. LC will not come to you directly, it will come through your banker. So Axis Bank will be the advising bank. And in the LC, you will also find a nomenclature like applicant. Applicant means buyer who is applying for the LC. That is the importer. He will approach his banker requesting him to open the LC. Buyer or the importer is known as the applicant. Then the other party is beneficiary, who is nothing but seller or the exporter, because you get the benefit of the transaction, that is the payment. Sometimes you may also have a negotiating bank. I will explain this a little later. Before going to this negotiating bank, like in case of any transactions where there are bank charges, in LC also there are bank charges. However, in case of LC, the bank charges are more complex because there are more number of banks involved. You have issuing bank, you have advising bank, and negotiating bank. 3 banks. So 3 bank charges will be there. Therefore, when you are negotiating an export under an LC, you have to be also careful to clearly spell out what about the bank charges, who are the banks involved, who will pay the bank charges. Supposing you miss out as an exporter, then in this case, by default, all charges have to be borne by importer. It is quite reverse. In case of non-LC, by default, all bank charges have to be borne by the exporter, whereas in case of LC transaction, by default, all bank transaction charges have to be borne by importer. Why so? Because in case of LC, who is approaching the bank with the request to open the LC? Importer. He is requesting his Citibank, you please open an LC, otherwise I cannot get the material. So that is the legality which you have to understand. Now I will explain what is a negotiating bank. Supposing if the payment terms are cash on delivery, then to Citibank and Citibank, if it is COD, they will make the payment and deliver the documents to their client, and in turn they will record from him depending upon their agreement. They may give him some credit or whatever it is. That is between themselves. We are not concerned. Supposing you are doing the transaction under credit, say 90 days. Then when will you get payment? Even though LC is opened by Citibank, you will get payment only on the due date. So you have to remember one thing very clearly, that the payment terms incorporated in the LC. Banker will not put his own payment conditions and all. Whatever you have agreed, he will put. If you have agreed COD, he will put COD. Then he will say, I will make the payment immediately on receipt of the documents. Whereas if it is you both have agreed for credit 90 days from the date of shipment, then the LC issuing bank, Citibank will say under this LC, as per the credit terms, we will make you payment 90 days after the shipment. That's all. Now let us say you are doing a credit transaction, 90 days. You have a payment commitment from Citibank, so you are very happy about that, you will definitely get the payment. So what you do the shipment and send all the original documents through your bank to Citibank. So Citibank will verify whether these documents are as per the LC terms. It means while opening the LC, the bank also will put what are the documents to be submitted. Many times people are under the impression that whatever the conditions that LC issuing bank will put, all those conditions you have to fulfill. No, it is not like that. It is the other way around. Whatever importer and exporter they have agreed, whatever documents they require, the same documents will be put by the bank under the LC. As I said, bank will only insist for invoice, transport document, that's all. All other documents, whatever you require and you have agreed, the same will be mentioned there. So you have to take two important precautions. One is that bank charges under the LC. You have to spell out explicitly. And second thing is what documents. So what you have to do for all practical purposes, when you are doing an export transaction under an LC, you ask upfront the importer first to send a template, draft conditions, payment terms, everything, documents, conditions and all. So you have to see whether you are in a position to give those documents. Supposing he says certificate of origin issued by, say, US Embassy. If US Embassy is not there in your location, it will be difficult for you. Then you can say, no, it is not possible. I will get a certificate of origin certified by my local chamber of commerce. So like that, you have to first resolve what documents you are in a position to submit and then convince the importer, or you come to a common understanding. Then finally, those document conditions only have to be incorporated in the LC. So that what will happen, when you do the transaction under the LC and submit the documents, you can avoid any discrepancy. Because if there is a discrepancy, as per law, LC opening bank can totally say that, sorry, I will not pay, because this is not as per the LC terms. That is why you have to be very clear upfront what documents you will be submitting, and request the importer to tell his banker, you include only these documents, that's all, nothing else. So that you can avoid the discrepancies. Many times the discrepancy charges are also very heavy. For a discrepancy, they may be charging $10, $25 like that. Then again, who will pay those charges? So that is why you have to avoid all these things through this, what you call the option, which I am suggesting to you now. That is number one. And then the charges will be, issuing bank charges will be there. When they issue the LC, Citibank will issue LC and LC issuing charges. And then Axis Bank, they are communicating the receipt of LC to you, advising charges. Now, what is the role of this advising bank? Advising means they are not simply communicating as the post office. They are also taking the responsibility to certify that the transaction is genuine, the LC is genuine, the contents are in order. They are not containing any error or fake things. So that is the role of the advising bank. So they will charge their charges. And subsequently, when you submit the documents, document handling charges will be there by both the Axis Bank and Citibank. And then finally, when they make payment, payment commission will be charged. So many charges will be there. Sometimes in between, there may be an amendment to the LC. That is, you have agreed to do the shipment by, say, 30th September. So in the LC, you will find last date of shipment, 30th September. Fine. You both have agreed, you are comfortable. But after 1 month, you find it is not possible for you to do the shipment. So you ask importer to extend the shipment date from 30th September to 31st December. So there will be an amendment. So amendment charges will be there. Again, amendment issuing charges by Citibank, amendment communicating charges by Axis Bank. So you have to be very, very careful while negotiating, the charges under the LC, because they are complex and they are more. So that is very, very important. Now we'll let us see what is the role of the negotiating bank. When do they come into the picture? So in case of credit, as I was telling you, 90 days. So LC is also open for 90 days credit. Fine. You do the shipment, then you submit the documents. Axis Bank will send the documents to Citibank. They verify and they say that, yes, these documents we have received, they are in order. Therefore, we'll make payment on September 30th as per LC terms. So you are happy that no discrepancy, everything in order, and you will definitely get the payment on September 30th. Now you have given credit, so you have to wait for 90 days. It is backed by LC, so on the 90th day, bank will make the payment. So there is no question of any non-payment because it is a bank commitment. But sometimes it may so happen in between, suddenly you may get some more export big orders you have to execute urgently. Then you may be finding a liquidity problem because you already done the shipment, but this payment will come on September 30th. In between, suddenly unanticipated, you require funds. Here where negotiating bank will come into the picture, because LC is also freely negotiable. Negotiability means you can take the documents under this LC to any bank of your choice, ask them to discount and make you the payment, finance. Any bank will make the payment, finance it, because it is backed by LC. On due date, they will definitely get the payment from Citibank. So the discounting charges will be there. So the negotiating bank is one who is discounting or financing this transaction. LC is a freely negotiable. It means what? Even though your banker is Axis Bank, it is not mandatory or necessary that you should negotiate only with Axis Bank to get finance. Because Axis Bank may say, my charges are 13%, whereas SBI may say, my charges are 10%. So you can still have a choice of, you can do hop around and find out which bank in the market is offering you best interest rate, lowest interest rate, and discounted. So this is what the role of the negotiating bank is. So friends, this is how the LC transactions take place. So the important precautions you have to take is that the bank charges, and then you see that the documents, what are the documents you have agreed, the same things are only mentioned in the LC. And then you have to see that the payment terms are as per your agreement mentioned in the LC. And last shipment date, whether part shipments are permitted, all these things, whatever you have agreed, the same thing should be reflected in the LC. So these are the precautions you have to take. Another important thing is that, friends, we have to remember that banks deal only in documents and not in goods. It means if the document says this transaction contains gem and jewelry, bank will go by that. Whereas in reality, it may not contain gem and jewelry, something different. Therefore, it is for the parties to ensure that the goods are as per their requirement and expectations. So how do they ensure it? They have to put a clause, inspection certificate. So some third party inspection will be done and they will submit a document. Banks deal only with the documents and discrepancy of the documents as per the documents you have agreed. That's all. Any discrepancy in the goods, quality, quantity and all, it is left to the buyer and seller to resolve it. So that is very, very important. So this is what how it operates under the LC. There are various types of LCs. Basically, LC is irrevocable, as I told you, it cannot be cancelled. But having said it, sometimes LC can also be cancelled when provided all parties agree. It means exporter is not interested to do the transaction. Importer says, I am also not interested, let us cancel it. Then exporter's banker, Axis Bank, he also says, I am also not interested, I have not done any finance or anything, I have nothing to lose. So if you want to do it, otherwise cancel it. So if all the parties agree, only then the LC can be cancelled. Otherwise, it cannot be cancelled at all. And in the LCs, we also have two another categories: confirmed credit, unconfirmed credit. So what is that? Supposing an importer's banker is issuing the LC, you are happy with it. You will go ahead and do the transaction. That is unconfirmed credit. Whereas confirmed credit is one where you are not sure about the credentials of the importer's banker who has issued the LC. He may be a good bank, but you are not sure about it. Sometimes your banker also may tell you, we are also not very confident about that bank. Then how do you go about it? You may ask the importer, see, we are not confident with this bank, so you please get LC from another bank, say Citibank or Stanchart or HSBC. But the problem is that the importer may not have account with those banks. So how will he get it? Then the transaction cannot be put through. So in order to resolve this problem, we will find a via media solution. That is, you will tell your importer, okay, let your banker XYZ bank issue the LC, no problem. But you please ask that XYZ bank to get a confirmation from ABC Bank, Citibank, or Stanchart, or HSBC, whatever it is, which I am comfortable. Then what will happen? That ABC Bank will add confirmation saying that this LC issued by XYZ Bank, I am adding my confirmation, which means ABC Bank will also have to make payment under this LC. So you have two options in that case. That is, you can send the documents to XYZ Bank and wait for them to make payment. If they fail, you can go to ABC Bank and get the payment. Or you can straightaway send the documents to ABC Bank and get the payment, and they will adjust with XYZ Bank. So this is what the confirmed credit. So in confirmed credit, a confirmation bank will come. So confirmation charges also will be there. They are very expensive. So that is why if you are adding another bank's confirmation, you have to be careful. What about the charges? Who will pay? All those things you have to agree. And then you also have a revolving credit. That is where exporter and importer are the same persons, and you do repeat transactions every month, same material. Say every month $1 million, same goods more or less, 12 consignments. So instead of opening for every consignment every month one separate LC, you can have a simple mechanism where it is a revolving letter of credit. It means the same LC will be there, same LC number. LC amount will be $1 million, but they will put a clause. This LC will be valid for a period of 12 months, covering 12 shipments, each shipment not exceeding $1 million. So as and when the first shipment is done, you submit the documents, you get the payment. Second shipment, you do another 1 million. Like that 12 times you can do under the same LC. So that is what is known as revolving credit. Then you have standby letter of credit, which I already explained. It is nothing but the bank guarantee. And then you have a transferable credit, where you are exporter, but you are intermediary. You are the merchant, trader. Manufacturer is somebody else. So you can transfer the credit, substitute the documents. And then assignment credit. Assignment credit normally happens where, let us say, I do a transaction with you. You owe me money. But in turn, I bought some material from somebody, I owe him money. So normally what I will do, I will collect the payment from you. Once it comes, I will settle the other man's payment. But in case of assignment, I need not wait for all these things. I can authorize you saying that instead of making payment to me, I am assigning my right. So you make payment to my supplier. So that is assignment credit. That also can be done. So these are the various types of credits, LCs that we come across. So friends, now we will go to pre-shipment and post-shipment finance. That is export credit finance. As an exporter, can you avail any finance from the bank? Yes. At what stages? Pre-shipment, post-shipment, or both, whichever you want. What is the pre-shipment finance? Say you get an LC or a good order from an overseas party, but you don't have money to execute. So how do you do it? You need finance. So you can approach your banker. You say, I am getting an LC. So then your bank will be happy because under LC payment is confirmed from that LC issuing bank. So against that LC, probably your bank will finance you. Pre-shipment finance. Say if the LC value is $1 million, the cost is $900,000, cost of production. Say your margin is $100,000. Say for example, 10% margin. So in order to finance you, to do this transaction, cost is $900,000. Out of that, your bank will finance normally 75% or 80%. The remaining 20% you have to pump in the money so that you can procure the raw material and process it and produce the goods. And then once you are ready, you prepare an invoice for $1 million and send through the same bank who have financed you. So once they get the payment of $1 million, they will first adjust the loan they have given you with interest. They will recover balance amount they will give you. This is a pre-shipment finance. Now, normally, if it is LC, bank will be happy, but not necessarily it should be with LC only. Even non-LC transactions also, sometimes we bank do finance. When we will do, provided we are comfortable with the overseas importers credentials, because there are some Fortune 500 companies, good companies. So their order contract is as good as an LC bank. So if the bank is comfortable, they will finance you with LC, sometimes without LC also, backed by a firm order. That depends. The same way, you can also avail post-shipment finance. It means supposing you have money to execute the shipment, you execute it. But here your problem is that you are giving credit. So you are not prepared to wait till the due date. But you will do the shipment, spending your money. So you can, after doing the shipment, instead of waiting till the due date, you can go to the bank and ask them to finance you. Again, same LC or non-LC, same due diligence they will do. Then that is a post-shipment finance. Or sometimes you may require both pre-shipment and post-shipment, that also they will do. So there are these guidelines. They will do the due diligence. If required, they will always take the hypothecation of the stock, and if required, they will take some collateral security, property, mortgage, whatever it is, like any loan how they give, they will process it and do it. So under LC or not without LC also, you can raise a pre-shipment finance, post-shipment finance. Interest rates are market driven. So you can negotiate with the banks and find out anywhere between 9 to 10 to 12%. It ranges depending upon the size and the tenor and the currency. So this is about the shipment finance, pre-shipment and post-shipment finance. Now friends, I'll tell you some more important aspects. As an exporter under the FEMA guidelines, you also have the option to open an account known as EEFC account, Exchange Earnest Foreign Currency account. So what is this Exchange Earnest Foreign Currency account? It means only an exporter can open it, where he is getting a foreign currency. Normally what happens when you do an export, say you're preparing the invoice in dollars, when you get the payment, your bank will immediately convert the dollar into rupee and give you, isn't it? Here, if you open the EFC account, you can tell the bank, whenever you get the payment, don't convert into rupee. You convert it only when I tell you. But in the meanwhile, if you get the payment, you park in this current account, in dollar account. So you'll open a dollar current account. This current account can be opened in 4 currencies: dollar, pound sterling, euro, Japanese yen. Whichever currency you prepare the invoice, you can get it. So your funds will come and lie there. Say you get $1 million payment today, export is over, cash on delivery, payment has come. So this will go to this EFC account, $1 million will be there. Say after 1 month you find you need some funds, $500,000. You can ask your bank to convert into rupee and use it. Or say after another 45 days, you have some import payment to make. From this account straight away you can make that import payment in dollar. So no need to convert, reconvert and all, exchange rate conversion and all you can avoid. But since this is a current account, no interest will be paid to you and no checkbook will be given. This option is available to all exporters. You can open the account and keep it. If you want, you can use it. Otherwise, it will be there. Now, this is with regard to the EFC account. And then, if you want to avoid the exchange risk, what is exchange risk? If you are an exporter, normally we prepare the invoice in dollars, isn't it? So how do you prepare it in dollars? Your production cost is in rupees. You convert into dollar, taking today's dollar exchange rate. So I arrive at, say, it is $1 million. Supposing dollar value is 70 rupees. So it is 7 crore. So 7 crore is the invoice value. You convert into $1 million. Say when you get the payment is not coming immediately overnight. It may take 1 week, 2 weeks, even if it is COD. If it is usance, 90 days, 120 days later. So whenever the payment comes, you may get $1 million. Fine. But when you convert it, the conversion rate will be totally different because exchange rate keeps on changing. So today rate is 70. You prepared your cost of production or your total sale value, including profit margin, is 7 crores. So 7 crores by 70 rupees per dollar, you arrive $1 million. So after 90 days, you get $1 million. But the dollar rate may be 65. So what will happen? You will get only 6.5 crores when you convert it, isn't it? So you may be sometimes gaining or losing depending upon how the exchange rate will move upwards or downwards. So how do you avoid it? In order to avoid this, FEMA guidelines give an option to the exporters and importers also to book a forward contract. So what is a forward contract? You tell your bank, say I have done this transaction, $1 million, I'll get after 90 days. But I do not know what will be the rate. So can you give me a rate? Say due date is September 30th. Can you give me right now a rate which you are prepared to convert $1 million to rupee? So your bank will say today rate is 70 rupees, June month. Your $1 million will come on September 30th. So bank will say, on September 30th, when you get $1 million, I'll give you 70.25 rupees. Supposing you are happy with it. So you can fix that rate, enter into a contract. It's 100 rupees stamped agreement between bank and the customer. So on the due date, when you get the $1 million, September 30th, bank will pay you for every dollar 70 rupees 25 paise. Even though on that date, the actual market rate may be more than that or less than that, whatever it is. So this is what is known as hedging. You are not doing any speculation. You are protecting your margin, you are locking a rate, and on that rate, on that date, you will get this rate, you are happy. But here there is a rider. That is, if the forward contract is cancelled, then if any charges are there incurred by bank, you have to pay the charges. When it will be cancelled? Simple, when you don't get the payment. You are committing to bank, I will get payment. But who is making the actual payment? Importer. So if he is not making payment, even though enter into forward contract, on the due date, you may not get the payment. There could be some delay. And then the forward contract will be automatically cancelled on the due date because of non-receipt of the payment. Then if there are any bank charges, you will have to pay. So it is a double-edged weapon. Therefore, who will use this? Not exporters who do occasionally one-off transactions. It is very useful to regular exporters, where they get every month some payment or other. And where provided they feel dollar rate may come down, only then you go for forward contract. If you feel the dollar rate is going on increasing, you will keep it open because you get more money on a later date. So this is the option available for the exporters as well as the importers for the forward contract. Now, supposing you want to avoid all these things, FEMA guidelines still make you one option, give an option, that is, you can also prepare an invoice in rupees when you do export. That is, you will prepare the invoice for 7 crore rupees INR. Then what will happen? The importer, whenever he is making payment, he has to make equivalent dollars there, depending upon the rate in his country. You will get your exact 7 crores whenever you get the payment. But in reality, our exporters are not in a position to use this option for the simple reason our currency is a mere piece of paper, as you know, and our total share in the global trade is hardly 3 to 3.5%. Nobody knows what is rupee currency. So you are not in a position to dictate terms. We are at the receiving end. But still, I keep on telling this option in every session because sometimes it may so happen that you may get a desperate importer who wants everything urgently, and you are in a position to satisfy him, supply the material. Then you can try this option. He will agree for it also. It all depends upon bargaining position, not necessarily by the country's profile. Even though we may not have much bargaining power as a country, as a whole, an individual transaction sometimes we may be placed in a very advantageous position. In such cases, you can insist the party and he will definitely agree, so that you can avoid all the risk will be transferred to him. So these are the FEMA guidelines, the important nuances in the global trade. So with this, I have covered from my side. I am through. I am open for the sessions. Questions from.
Very good, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for the crisp session. So hope participants have enjoyed and understood. So let us take the questions directly from the participants.
Mr. Naval Kurkaja.
Mr. Naval.
Damian.
Hi, sir. Good evening.
Yeah.
Hello. So my question to you was, in case of exporting services, like if you're giving services to a foreign client, what are the documents we need to submit to the bank or to the exporter?
Only simple invoice, and certificate issued by the. There is no customs here, as I said, non-physical goods.
Correct. Correct.
If it is a software, then you have an option to get certification from STPA. To get it certified by STPA, you have to be STPA member.
STPA?
And that is not mandatory. Supposing normally STPA registration charges, annual renewal fees will be very high. Not all companies will be able to afford it. Then you may not be able to get STPA certification. Then how to do it? Then also FEMA guidelines will provide another option. That is, your invoice can be certified by your chartered accountant. So you will certify saying that I have verified the records, this transaction has taken place.
Okay,
so that is as good as certification required by that.
So it is only the invoice copy I have to submit to the CA, that's it.
Only the invoice copy which is certified by the chartered accountant, that is enough. Or if you are a member in STPI, then you will submit the invoice to them, they will give the certification, they will issue a form known as soft text form. Along with that, you will submit. Both the options are there.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Mr. Hassan Sheikh.
Yeah, very good evening, and thanks to Mr. Pathasarathi ji. It's a very detailed explanation about the banking and other details. Sir, my question, my doubt about the LC. See, the LC is, everyone knows, it's a letter of credit. What about the DLC? That's a documentary letter of credit. Is there any particular difference, or both the LCs can be negotiated? No. I mean to say documentary LC, DLC, not SBLC.
No. See, DA and DP, they are payment terms. LC will be the same. In the LC, if both of you have agreed for payment cash on delivery, then we say it is a DA, document DP. That is a DP means documents against payment.
Sorry to intervene.
No, it is same only. Letter of credit, documentary letter of credit is same only. No difference.
No, letter of credit, documentary letter of credit is something different from the letter of credit. Sir, at my knowledge.
No.
Am I right, Mr. Pathasarathi sir?
No. Since it is a basically documentary letter of credit, and the payment terms, if they are DP, then it is a DP bill, and LC under DP terms. If it is acceptance, it is a usance LC.
Sir.
Dr. Rao sir, I think you can explain it.
Right way. Sir, so the point is, let us mute everyone first. Okay, I muted everyone. Sir, Parsar sir, can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you.
Sir, what he's asking is, what is the difference between the letter of credit and documentary letter of the credit?
No difference at all.
That's what I'm telling. It is only the
Letter of credit implies documentary letter of credit because LC is backed by the documents conditions.
It is same wording is descripted. That's all.
LC itself is a documentary letter of credit.
No difference. Next.
Yeah.
Akash
LC
Dubey.
means documentary letter of credit. That's why LC payment made as per the document mentioned in the LC. What will be the documents mentioned in the LC? What you have agreed and the payment terms. That's all.
Akash.
Akash Dubey. Rajesh Mehra.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yeah.
So, if the transaction are through LC mode, bill of exchange is to be accepted by the importer, and then only the payment will be given by the bankers.
No. Actually, in India, many banks follow that bill of exchange. They will ask the importer to accept it in case of import. But actually, international practice is that payment obligation is by whom under LC? Bank. And the LC itself is mentioning very clearly, bank will make you the payment. So, if you are preparing documents under LC, the bill of exchange will be addressed to the bank only.
But in local LC, the opposite party has to accept the bill of exchange, then only the bankers release the payment. Documents are accepted by the...
But as per, I know that we do it, even I have done it. But as per law under the LC, the drafts have to be drawn only on the bank.
It's
but
not compulsory.
Why we do it, because there is a Bill of Exchange Act.
Okay.
Yeah. Why we do it, I will also explain that. Why we as a bankers do it, because double precaution. Because if I take the acceptance of the buyer, or the importer, under the Bill of Exchange Act, bank will have right to recover the money from both seller and buyer in case anything goes wrong. That is why we do it. That's all.
And second question, sir.
Yeah.
Nowadays, everything is offline. No physical documents are going to overseas. All are through email or through portal.
Yeah.
I'm uploading my documents through SAP system of the buyer.
Yeah.
So I'm uploading the documents directly for my clients in the SAP system.
Yeah.
Is this admissible?
Admissible.
Because I'm not routing the documents through bank to bank.
Yeah. That is admissible. See, you may be sending the copies of the documents to him.
Yeah, copies to. Yeah, I'm sending. I'm scanning the documents and listing on the portal of the buyer directly.
Yeah. Yes, you can do it. But here again, if you are doing say for example, you have done a physical goods where the transport document you get original, then that you have to send it through the bank, because the copies will scan it and send it, but the originals will go through the bank.
But no physical document, physical movement of the documents are there at present going on in overseas due to COVID, or how the system has changed. That's the reason I'm asking, sir. Because I'm not. We are not setting. We are not setting any. Value of transaction is about 40,000 US, 50,000 US, 25,000 US.
Yes. It happens, but again, you send the copy through the bank because the payment has to come through the bank only. How will they know? So you send the copy of the documents to the bank, and his bank will be informed, and he has to make the payment through the banking system.
No, sir, but overseas now nobody accept the physical documents. What the current scenario is going on?
That's what I am saying. Wherever you do through this system, you will intimate the bank. Your bank account details will be mentioned, and you intimate your bank to ask the importer's bank to get the payment from him. Otherwise, how will the payment come?
Yeah, that is
okay. Let us stop here because we have to discuss with your client.
Okay.
Very advanced question for all the beginners now. Okay. Next.
Rahul Velankar.
Yeah, good evening, sir. My question is regarding the forward contract. Suppose the payment terms agreed to are 90 days and the current trend for dollar rate is increasing. But say after maybe 45 days or 60 days, there is a trend that the rate starts to slip. So can we enter into a forward contract at a later stage, or is it necessary to enter into the forward contract in the beginning itself?
Yeah, you have the option to enter into forward contract any day during these 90 days, anytime whenever you want. Not necessary you should enter immediately and then review. You can keep it open. Whenever you feel the rate is likely to come down, at that time you can enter into rate.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Sandeep Goyal.
Yeah, sir, my question is regarding EFC account. You said there are 4 currencies which are acceptable. So if suppose I have one account, I can park all the 4 currencies, whatever I receive after my exports?
No, they will open a separate current account for each currency. They will not, they cannot club it. Say if you are doing export in dollars, you will have EFC in dollar account. If you are doing exports in euro, you will have again EFC account in euro separate.
Okay, great, sir. Thank you.
But you can convert that euro into dollar, dollar to euro later if you want. That you can do.
Good evening, sir. This is Bharat from Coimbatore. My question to you is the banking, you're talking about the finance the support given by the banks. I have an inquiry right now from a importer who is looking to import. He's asking for LC at site in India port. This is a supply to the government of India. And this is through the authorized supplier to the government of India. But he is asking for the payment terms at LC at site. So can the banks be funding or supporting financially for the import of material? This is a copper import from Africa. So will the banks be supporting in importing the copper to India till it reaches the port of India?
Yeah, see, banks basically we do only when we finance the transactions, we get our money, you know. So it like any loan, like when you approach a bank for a loan, what the bank will do, they will ask your last 3 years balance sheet, your track record, bank account, and then they will take a call, you know, or if required, they will say you give some security. So all this process due diligence will be done. The concerned party has to approach the bank and find out what are their requirements, submit those documents, and then the bank will tell whether they are finally in a position to issue the LC or not, because it is basically like a finance.
My question is, when we are getting a LC for export purpose, we do it discounting of LC.
Yes.
But when it comes for importing, whether the purchase order will act as a LC discounting status, can we do that?
No. See, even before locking the transaction, you can say, I am having a sale agreement, or you can say, like you can take this contract I am likely to enter. So you have to give all the details, because it is not for one-off transaction. Regularly you may be requiring. Yes, so you approach your bank, tell you all your requirements, your profile, your business and all, and then they will assess, and then they will tell you how much limit they will be able to give you and what terms. So once the limits are in place, supposing they are issuing a LC for 1 crore. So within that 1 crore, you can enter into any number of transactions with any number of people. That's also possible.
Okay, next.
Thank you.
Muralidhar.
Good evening, sir. Muralidhar here. When we have unconfirmed LC and the transaction has happened, means I have exported the goods, and then at the end of the payment cycle, if the LC issuing bank refuses to pay or some dispute has been raised, are there any international regulatory bodies to resolve these kind of issues?
Why they are refusing to make the payment? What is the reason?
No, if they have raised a dispute like the documents are not as per the contract, or the material quality or something is not as per the contract.
This problem will come only in case of usance credit, because if it is COD, immediately they will tell you. Usance also, when you submit the documents within 5 working days, immediately they will tell you whether the documents are in order or not. So as I told you in the beginning, under the LC, if there are discrepancies, the LC issuing bank says these discrepancies are there. Technically, legally, they are out of picture. They need not pay. There where your links relationship with importer counts, because importer really wants the material. There could be some technical difficulty in the documents. Then it will not be that difficult for you to convince the importer, who will in turn tell the bank, I am waiving the discrepancy, you can accept it, and then we will make the payment. So this
So
is
it is
how
between the importer and the exporter, not the bank, that responsibility.
Sorry, importer?
No, this is between importer and exporter to come to a common understanding. It's not the bank.
Yeah, that's why, see, bank will normally, importer's bank will normally go by what the importer says. If the importer is comfortable, bank also will be comfortable. So you should have a good relationship with the importer to see that the documents, everything goes smoothly. Any minor discrepancy is in a position to accept that discrepancy and tell the bank also, you waive this discrepancy, accept it.
Okay, next.
Thank you.
Okay, Sharma.
Yes, sir. Actually, I could not understand that transferable LC.
See, as I said, you are not the manufacturer.
Yeah, I am not a manufacturer. If
For
I don't
example,
want,
you are a trader. So
yeah,
you get an export order. So you
sorry?
agree to do the export. So
Yeah.
you get the LC in your name.
Yes,
But you are not having the material. Material is for the manufacturer.
Yeah.
So he may say that I require money or finance. So under this LC, you can transfer it so that he will get his payment to you from you secured to that extent.
No. Though the terms of with my supplier is on my mutual understanding. So I can get the material from there. I am exporting on the in my firm name.
Then you need not to use it. No need for you to do transferable, because when he does not require funds at all, he is prepared to wait. You need not worry about transferable LC.
Yes, that is my lookout. I am giving him as an advance or whatever.
I will give you material provided you make me some payment.
Yes.
Then only you will have to do this transferable LC. Otherwise, it does not arise. Yeah.
Okay.
It's an option available to you. You can use it or not.
Okay.
Gautam Malik.
Yeah, Dr. Parthasarathi, very informative what you just told us. Now, my question is that in LC is actually a mechanism for payment and not a guarantee of payment. And the banks involved are the bank, advising bank, negotiating bank, and at times the reimbursing bank. What is the importance of the reimbursement clause? Because in my experience, that if the LC is not payable at the negotiating bank's counters, over which I as the exporter have control, then it becomes nothing but a DP document. And where the importer can say that they're disturbing and so forth and delay the payment. So should the reimbursement clause always mention that the LC is payable at the counters of the negotiating bank? That's my question.
Yeah, it's a very good question. You can always have the option wherever, if it is possible for you to get it. You can normally what happens, all LC opening banks will say that the payment, they say that the payment will be made in the country on receipt of the documents at their branch, say USA. So you can also say that we are not agreeable for it. So you identify a bank in India who will be reimbursing it. Say Citibank, they can say Citibank Mumbai. You can submit the documents to Citibank Mumbai and they will make payment on behalf of Citibank New York in dollars to you. So you can add that clause and ask them to go by it. Then if they are going by it, fine. If they are not willing for it, then you cannot do anything.
Next.
Okay, Jugraj.
Hello, good evening, sir. My question is that maybe the issue advising bank, issuing bank, and negotiating bank. The issuing bank issue the LC in the name of the advising bank. And suppose the advising bank will not negotiate the document, he says that I will not make the payment because I does not know the banker of that Bank of Dhaka, and you should get the confirmation from another bank. Then how I can get the confirmation of the confirmed LC by the another bank, that whether the importer can give the guarantee or through the another bank confirmation, confirmed bank?
See, the advising in the beginning itself, if you are doing an export and an LC, you should find out from your bank whether they are comfortable, because you do not know anything about that bank. So you go by what your bank says. If your advising bank says we are not very comfortable, then you probably feel that I am running a risk then immediately you have to tell before opening the LC itself that we are not comfortable with this bank opening the LC. So you please ask this bank to get confirmation. Upfront you have to tell these things. Or after issuing the LC also you can go for amendment and ask them add a confirmation bank. Then they will do it.
Social Kumar Jain.
Good evening, sir. My question is very simple. As per RBI guideline, we can't have current account when we are using OD account or cash credit account. So, is it
sorry?
As per RBI guidelines, we can't have current account when we are having CC account, cash credit account.
Yeah.
So then, how we can open this double EFC account, EEFC account? Is it different from current account?
It is like a current account only, but FEMA guidelines permit it because in different currency, you know.
Okay.
Supposing if you interpret that way, you cannot have all currencies in one account, you know.
Okay.
How that is possible?
Okay.
So technically they have to open one more current account. For all practical purposes, it is one and the same, but different currency. That's all. That's why you have a different account number. It's only technicality. You need not worry about it.
Right. Thank you. Thank you.
Prabhu. Akash K. Mehta.
Yeah, sir, I have a very basic question.
Sir.
Suppose if I as an exporter and the importer have a payment terms where the importer pays me a 50% advance and the rest 50% we can raise an LC and do it?
Yeah, you can do it. That's what I say. Advance payment you can get for 50%, and for the balance 50%, you can tell the importer you get an LC for me. And in the LC also you can have the payment terms. It can be COD, it can be USANS, whatever it is.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Prabhu. Naveen Senapati. Praveen.
Sorry, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I have a doubt that if LC secures the payment, if I am an exporter, LC gives the security of payment. Where is this ECGC role play?
I think again the session will be there. They'll be explained in detail. So let me not again have a duplicate.
Okay.
Yeah, we have the separate session tomorrow. Tomorrow first session.
So they will be covering that. No, don't worry. You can ask the question. They will respond to you.
Thank you.
Anshuman.
Hi, sir. Thank you very much. Great session. Like all the other sessions, just wanted to know when you were talking about this very unfortunate scenario where the buyer can back out at the last moment, and we may have to not only bear the bank charges, but I may have already, as a trader, purchased the goods from my supplier. So how can one avoid such a situation? Is there some way of actually validating the credibility of the buyer beforehand? How does one mitigate such a risk?
Yeah, that I think ECGC they will be covering tomorrow, because when you do the export, you'll be taking the insurance cover under ECGC against that buyer. That is one thing. And second important thing is that you have to do some due diligence before you enter into transaction with any counterparty abroad, whether it is export or import. So when you do this due diligence and you also get this ECGC cover for the export, then you know you are reasonably comfortable. You can insulate yourself from this risk.
Thank you, sir.
Velusamy Mani.
Hi, good evening, sir. So my question is I have a buyer, like they are agreed to make a 70% payment, and rest 30 will be they are asking for credit. So how can I proceed, sir? Like you said cash on delivery option, how it works? Whether once the goods is shipped or it is delivered to the buyer's place.
See, when you say some 50% advance payment now, so you get 50% advance payment now, then the balance, if it is cash on delivery you have agreed, then you prepare the invoice and then you deduct that 50% and say the balance 50%, they have to make the payment and get the documents. That is one. Or if you are giving credit, then you can say 50% advance payment, and then the balance 50% you give 90 days credit, 120 days credit. Then that will be documents delivered against acceptance, and they will make payment on the due date.
Actually, how it works, sir? Like if we deliver the goods from our end and it reaches the destination port, I mean,
it will reach, but as I said, the documents will be going through the bank, So you will give
That's
the.
what my question is. How the buyer bank comes to know the goods are delivered to the
Because your banker will inform the buyer's bank there, sending the documents which you have submitted under collection, and your banker will tell that banker, look, under this transaction 50% is paid, balance 50%. Now he has to make the payment and take these documents. So they will intimate.
Okay, and one more question, sir. Like if I agreed for 90 days credit, but after 1 month of time I am in need of money, is that we can able to reduce the date? Say for example, we are negotiating, we need to make a payment of in another 10 or 15 days. Instead of 90 days, we can able to reduce it to 40 or 45 days. Is it possible?
Yeah, you can do it. Probably he may ask for some discount. You can give that price discount and settle the transaction.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Mallikarjun.
Yeah, hi sir. We are the startup company. We don't have any bank limits. So based on the credibility, they have given 25 lakhs LC limits for us. So we have taken that and we are routing local suppliers. But when we want to get raw material from outside, like China, Korea, Malaysia, so we wanted to, they were check our profile and they are ready to give 180 days LC limit, means LC option. But now we don't have bank limits. So when we search in market, many people are offering different kind of LCs. So one of the agencies offering LC, site LC, they said there is prime banks like DBS Bank, Dasing Bank, like that. So they were asking us LC validity, if you need 90 days, we will charge 3.5%. So can we believe on these people and move forward by paying some amounts to them?
I suggest you not to do. You directly deal with the bank. Don't deal with intermediaries. Unless they are highly credible and reputed and you got some good reference who have already done and they got the money. Otherwise, don't do it.
Sir, without having our own bank limits, then being a startups or beginners, how do we able to enable this LCs, sir? Do we have any?
Already, I think, if I'm right, you said your bank has given some 25 lakhs.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes,
So through the same bank, you have to request and, they will probably, if not today, over a period of time, they will enhance it.
Okay.
Mallikarjuna, what is your requirement actually?
Sir, actually, we wanted LC, sir. My suppliers are ready to supply the material for 180 days of period of credit, but they were asking us some LC. Means my supplier sits in China and Korea.
What is that LC means? How 180 days Visan's LC?
Yeah, Usan's LC 180. They are ready.
What is the value of the LC you are looking?
Sir, 0.5 million is okay, sir, to start with.
0.5 million means how much it comes?
Around 3.5 crores.
Okay, you call me tomorrow. We'll discuss.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, I'll connect you.
Yeah.
Ishwar Segu.
Sir, namaste, sir.
Yes.
Sir, actually, the consignment was reached to the importer's port, sir, but he's not he's not taking the delivery of the consignment regarding some package issues or quality issues. How can we use this letter of credit on that situation, sir?
Whether you already have this transaction backed by LC?
Yes, sir. Already this agreement was regarding to LC only, sir.
No. Whether you have done the transaction already, supplied the material?
No, sir. No. But I have one case regarding this in our hometown, sir. That's right.
No. My question is, if you really have a case where the party is not willing to make the payment, it means material is already delivered. Is it not?
Yes.
If that is so, whether it is under LC or non-LC, that is what I am asking.
Non-LC, sir. Non-LC.
Non-LC. So what you have to do, only no option but to negotiate with the party and settle it.
Okay, sir. Is it affordable? Like if you take in LC means it is good for?
No. If it is in LC, what happens? The bank is not concerned about material. As I said, they only deal with documents.
You would have got money.
For LC terms, if you are submitting the documents, the bank will give you the confirmation or payment, whatever it is. Then quality issue, as I said, you should have agreed to get some inspection certificate and resolve it upfront. That is a totally different. Under LC, banks deal only with the documents. They are not concerned with the quality of goods and all. If you want to protect the quality of goods, you should have an inspection certificate which will mention it as per that. That will be part of the document. That's all.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Vishwendra Singh ji.
Hello. Sir, actually, my question is that I'm a fresh. I want to become a fresh exporter. Okay, so I'm not getting any big orders. My orders is small, and that to the importer is also not having big bank accounts and cash of flow. So he wants the credit of 90 days or 100 days. Let's suppose, sir. So, sir, what is the assurance of getting the money after 90 to 100 days once he has, used my goods? My goods won't be at the port. He must be using them.
That's why ECGC, tomorrow they will answer. You can take the ECGC cover to protect.
If he doesn't pay, what is going to happen tomorrow? We'll discuss.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Very important session.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next.
Mr. Jugraj.
No, sir. My question is that suppose I have dispatched the goods, sent the goods on the basis of the LC, filed LC of 90 days, and after 90 days, if the importer does not come forward to pay the LC amount to the bank, so whether I can get my amount or not from the banker.
As I told you, if it is under LC, you have already done the shipment, submitted the document, and the bank said we have received the documents, they are in order, and they will make payment on the 90th day. Then on the 90th day, the bank has to make payment to you. Whether the importer is making payment to that bank or not, that is between the bank and the importer. You need not worry about it.
Okay. We are done.
Yes, sir. Done with questions.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Parsadhiyaru.
Yeah.
For the nice session and patience answering of all the questions. Thank you very much, sir. Good night.
Thank you all and good night.
Good night, sir. Thank you. Okay, friends. Still you have any doubts? Yes, please, Mallikarjuna.
Yeah. Sir, the same thing. Actually, we are looking for some support in this LC regard, sir, because we are having good orders in local market and suppliers are ready to supply us based on profile.
If suppliers are ready to give on credit basis,
Yeah.
I can organize the finance. Tomorrow we discuss personally.
Sure, sir. And one more, sir. Yeah. Sir, now we understood all these sessions means you people have created very good sessions and content for us. So now to move forward, better if we recruit a fresher person who can look after all this searching and all of the data, and we people focus on business. So I think is that works well, sir? Can if we recruit fresher people
That is
follow
what
your documents
what the business people do.
Okay. Yeah.
Mukesh Ambani will not sit and do all these activities.
Yes, sir. That's right. So based on your experience, I think freshers also can fulfill these searchings and all.
See, self-employment is different, business is different.
Yes, sir.
Self-employment, if you are not working, you will not get anything.
Correct, sir.
If you are a business, if you are established the business, if you establish the system will run even if you go on holiday.
True, sir. The same thing we are trying, sir. We are looking for good profiles in LinkedIn and other areas.
That is the case. You have to do the business, not the self-employment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Venkatotej.
Hi, sir. So I'm in a little bit different situation. I'm in the US right now. I just finished my graduation. So I set up a LLP in the US. I'm trying to import granite into the US and sell to customers here. It's a little bit different approach. But so the question is, how do I hide the identity of my suppliers from my customers, and is this like a viable thing, or do you think I should like swap and create a company like in India instead of US?
No, you have formed the company in US, na?
Yes, sir.
That means you are importer in US.
Yeah, for now, yeah.
For now, okay. Then you can get the things to US and you are supplying market locally in US.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then where is the question of supplier identification?
So because I don't have warehouse and like storage or anything, sir. So I'll be directly shipping from the supplier to the customer.
To the customer.
Same.
What
Yeah.
you can do is get to your thing, getting a godown. This is not a big issue. Facilities are available. You can unpack. There's no You can unpack or you can also download somewhere, unload somewhere. Bonded warehouse is also available. There you can also get the unloading. Bonded warehouses are available in the ports.
Okay, sir.
Whenever you want to ship the clients, you can ship the goods from the bonded warehouses also. No need of having a godown.
Okay, but I won't be doing FOB. I'll be after doing CIF or direct delivery to warehouse or
If
something.
you ask you to get the material to the port, in the port itself there will be facilities. You can also inquire.
Okay, sir. And sir, after yes, sir. After this, if you want to reach out to you personally regarding some other issues,
Yes,
what's
yes,
the procedure?
we'll give the option. We'll give the option on the last day.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, right. Next.
Akash K. Mehta.
Yes, sir. I have a very basic question again. All these days, the content you've given is fantastic, and I will be watching the videos again and again to revise it. But is this all this content available in the notes also in the course where you have given us?
See, more than notes, video is more valuable than this. We are getting a clarification. We are getting explanation. Everything. If you want, everything is available in the note. Also, you can go through.
All right, sir. That was my question. Thank you so much.
Next.
Yeah,
Shweta.
hi sir. Yeah, hi sir. I have a question. While sending the samples to the importers, so do we also need to follow the guidelines? If it's related to spices or any food related items, do we need to follow the guidelines at the time of sending the samples? Or is it only required when we are exporting our goods?
See, some couriers they insist. Which country depends also.
Okay,
Depends
it is in
on
US.
US, they will follow.
They will follow. We need to follow the guidelines, the APEDA guidelines, which are the guidelines mentioned in APEDA.
Yes, but one more thing is, if it is perishable, is it perishable or non-perishable?
It's non-perishable.
Non-perishable, then not big issue. Only in case of perishable, only issue comes.
Okay.
Non-perishable is okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, ma'am.
Harshraj.
Good evening, sir. The lectures are so informative. My question is, most of the exporters do agreements with the importers there in foreign countries. Do you have sample agreements which need to be done with the exporters, and the hidden hidden terms in those agreements can be highlighted in those sample agreements?
It is already there in the study material. On the last day, 6th day, I'll be.
Okay.
If you want, you can go and access now also.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Next.
Abdul Majid.
Hi, sir. I have a question that I don't have any business experience. My question is, if I want to export some commodity as a trader, how to maintain the consistency of quality? Because I will be sourcing from different manufacturers. So the quality, how to maintain the consistency of quality so that the buyer does not reject my material.
That is, you can put the same restriction to your client. That's what
Not get it.
You have to insist on the supplier. You want what you are expecting. You should insist the same to your supplier, and also have an intermediate check.
The suppliers, sir, if they have more bargaining power, if they say that you either take it or don't take it, and I don't mind. So then, sir, how to do that?
Then you have to do your own
manufacturing,
own quality check.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
Okay, next.
Hassan.
Yeah, thank you, Doctor. See, one more question I just forgot to ask Mr. Pathasarthi. So this question is, since Iran is under the ban, how come we can secure the payment, sir? There is because they are not accepting the LC. What's the mode of any other type of transaction? Since
They are
they have
accepting LC. They are accept. Where are you from?
Sir, I'm from Tuticorin, Tamil Nadu.
Tuticorin. See, when you are doing the trade with the Iran, we are doing with INR.
Okay.
And do with INR. There are specialized banks like Yugo Bank and IDB, I think. These two banks are specialized to do this transaction. You can comfortably do that, no problem.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Next, Naval.
Naval.
Hi, sir. My question is similar to somebody asked about the samples. So, what would be the documents required while we are sending the samples? In this case, I'm talking particularly about sending rice to Germany.
One thing they will ask you is a phytosanitary certificate.
Say again, sir, which certificate?
Phytosanitary certificate.
Okay.
Phytosanitary certificate means that whatever the content you are sending, that content doesn't have the insects, pesticides, not pesticides, the what is that? Pesticides present. Pesticides, every country allows certain levels. If you are sending to Germany, Germany has their own level. So that will give the indication that it meets the requirement of the Germany, European standard.
So, as a documentation of that, the certificate from maybe SGS or other laboratory would be good enough, or?
As far as a sample is concerned, SGS will do. But when it comes to the regular export, only APIDA will issue this.
Okay, but sir, I mean, I went on APIDA website, and they have also mentioned about these laboratories. So, are they also conducting these tests by themselves, or is it only supposed to be done by these external agencies?
External agencies approved by APIDA approved laboratories list is also there in the study material.
Okay, and for samples also, sir, is it APIDA who can do the testing?
They can do. Okay, next.
Swami.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, add up to that question, like, what kind of certificate needed for UAE for
Sorry?
rice? No, what kind of certificate needed for UAE to export rice?
Your voice is going low.
Hello, sir, can you hear me now?
Yeah, now tell me.
Yeah, sir, what kind of certificate we need to export the rice to UAE, Arab countries?
Anything when you talk to any these people, courier people, phytosanitary certificate they will ask. Some they will ask, some they will not ask. Depends on the courier also.
Apart from that, is there any specific
No specific
certificate needed to export to UAE?
No.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, good night. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow you have very important
Thanks,
session. One is documents, the other one is risk
Good
management.
night, sir.
Okay. Good night, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, sir.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.